There's the outside world and the inside world. Einstein's going out for this whole thing of describing what is happening around us, and then you got this you're coming in at a good point, the Guns N' Roses. And what I think is this, he's trying to describe the inner world, and so we all have much dimension inside of ourselves. So we're a human being. We stand in the middle of what we can perceive outside of us and what we can perceive inside of us. I think that any musician, any artist, any whatever, all they're trying to do in any of their music or whatever is just for one moment hold up one part of a human experience and go, this is what this is like. And if we all can look at it and we all can relate to it, we go, wow, that is. But that's not everything that's inside of us. It's just this person's. So I look at everybody, the scientists, the musicians, everybody, we're all researchers trying to explore either outside how the world works, basically the situation we've been brought into in terms of what we're standing in, and then a lot of other people maybe describing the world inside of us, which has many dimensions as well. So yeah, this one person that puts this together one song, you're like, it just shows you like, yeah, that I do know that. That's amazing. Thank you for putting that there. I can go back to this now and look at it. So it's like taking a little note. Yeah. So what I realize is no one's a genius. Everybody is just on one attempt to describe the situation we're in, which is fucking mind-blowing. It's so fucking mind-blowing. It's like, just if you figure out one thing, it's like, that guy's a genius. But he's not a genius. He just figured out one little tip of like this situation that's so utterly complex that we're inside of. Anyways, so that was what I realized. So then the second thing I did was this. I said, society that we acknowledge, that we're inside, that we live by, is ridiculous. Okay, so we look at years ago, let's say 400 years ago, people were pooping where they ate and they got sick or whatever they did. And we go, oh man, they're so stupid. They didn't realize that. Or they treated people bad or they're slaves and like, didn't they know, you know? And so they didn't know about little bacteria, or they didn't know about, you know, fucking whatever. And we go, wow, that was really backwards, and we never do that now. But I think people will look at our society and say the same thing, like, oh, you have a bottle island or a plastic island out in the Pacific is growing every day with bottles, or you knew about, you know, renewable energies, but you always were fighting these huge, massive wars for oil, and your people who had no health care. It's like, okay, they're going to look at it and go, wow, they were just fucking stupid. So what you realize is, like, every society that you're going to be part of is always going to be seen as stupid. And there's no, we might think it's important now, but you'll just laugh at it later. So there's really no basis of believing in it. And so what I thought about is like this. I think society is this. I think about the entire human experience as having ourselves in a very vast sea, a sea that doesn't have edges actually. And all it has is, we're in a sea, and we're all bobbing up and down in it. And there's warm currents and cold currents. And no one wants to be in a cold current. No one wants to be in a part by themselves where it's cold. Right. You want to be in a warm spot. And what happens is society, if you get enough people together, they actually warm each other. Yeah. So this society here, even though it's in one location, it doesn't have to be in the location, but it's warm. And we can say it's good. But then it gets a little tangly in there, you know? But the thing is this, someone will step outside of it, and they'll freeze, but another person will be in a warm spell and go, dude, it's fucking awesome here, just try this shit. And everybody's like, well, why is that guy getting to do all that stuff over there? And he might be supported by this warm current, but a lot of people are like, well, he keeps on having everything over there, it's warm, and it's like, well, fuck it, why don't we try that? Like, some rapper about bling bling, or someone about like, hey, you know, carbon footprint, or someone about it. It's just someone that has an idea, and it's like, okay, well, they're consistently happy over there, so then people start to migrate over there, and then that's when you see society move over. And my bigger conclusion is this, that there's really no rhyme or reason to any society. It's just that, like, basically we all huddle together and we can keep ourselves warm and somewhat satisfied, but it's we're always looking for, as soon as you can get a little bit of freedom for someone can stand in one of these other places, we're always looking to go over there. And as soon as someone else ventures off and finds another warm currents, they'll stand there and go, hey, that's great. So we're always moving. So anyways, that was just my way of flattening our experience. Like, it's so complex, this world we've been delivered to, and all we have is perception. We can just perceive the world. And there's no rhyme or reason for any of the society shit. But you are just simply in this one space where you can go, holy fucking God, is this whole thing out the window or what? Like, what does the universe even expand into? Like, our minds literally can't comprehend that, like, what do you mean? But it's got to be held by something. Well, what would that be held by? And you're like, it just goes on forever, but it got to be, it's like, so you can't comprehend anything. Yeah. So we're actually inside of a situation we cannot comprehend, and maybe the same thing if there's two different worlds, outside world and inside world. The inside world, we don't know what's in there either.